Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about a virtual local area network, which is a VLAN in abbreviation. But first of all, we have to know what we call local area network. It's a network which is small, which is covering small geographical area, like home office, like schools, like small businesses, like hospitals, and other small areas. So when we are going to implement a network there, we use a local area network. So now we have what we call virtual local area network. That's our mission. So at the end of this video, we'll be able to know how to set up a local area network and how you can create a virtual local area network. So let's hit up. So let's suppose that here we have it's like a structure which is showing that these VLANs are all connected to this LAN 1. So it means an admin can control them, can manage them as LAN, but they have another local area networks which are virtual inside this LAN. So let us suppose that we have like a LAN with 20 computers, and we need 10 computers to have the unique communication, the unique connection. So there we are supposed to separate them by implementing VLAN, where the 10 computers will have their own communication and the other 10 computers will have their own. We are going to use a switch as interconnection device, which will help us to create VLANs, which will help us to manage our network and our communication through or inside our network. So it means in a sample, it means this switch is there for helping us to monitor, to manage our network settings, our network movements, and everything there. Also, it's there to help us to create a communication between two or more computers. So as you know, each computer must have a single or one port of Ethernet. So we use the switch as a centralized device for connecting more than one computers together for communicating via wired. And now here we have end devices. We have computers here. We have components here like network interface cards, like another accessories used in network or components. Like let us see, here we have this board. Here we have things which is holding the IoT components. So let us start from here. You see here we have routers, we have switches, and for us we don't need the router. We are going to use a switch as an interconnection device. So here let us use this version of switch. I like this because it somehow has more features than others, and let us use this 2960 switch. So and I use end devices, computers, 15 computers. Let us use desktop. So our network is looking like this. So now let us go ahead. We have this kind of network, and let us separate by names. So let us use colors. Let us fill colors. Now you see we have a different blocks. We have a block 1, we have a block 10, we have a block 20, and a block 30. We are going to check if each computer can communicate to each other. So we are going to configure a local area network which is successful where all computers will be able to communicate, where all computers from block 1 will be able to communicate will be able to send traffic to all frames to block 20, where all computers from block 10 will be able to share files, to share data from here to block 20 or block 30. So let us start configuring. What we need only here is to configure the IP addresses for these computers, as they are supposed to be in a single network or single virtual local area network. We are going to set what? We are going to set LAN as single, where all of them will have the IP addresses and start communicating. The benefit of DHCP is like when we have a large network with many kind of devices, so it eliminates a time consuming of configuring IP addresses from each end device, each computer. So that's why we like using DHCP in large networks like this. You click on command line interface. As we know, network devices, we use the command line interfaces for configuring, for setting up everything, for setting anything to be performed by network device, such as routers, switches, some firewalls. We use a command line interface, so you have to be friendly with the command line interface. So now we are in a global configuration mode, where we can configure a switch, where we can set, where we can reset, we can erase data, we can erase settings or erase configurations set in this switch. So, but for us, our mission is configuring DHCP, where we are going to apply IP addresses from these end devices. So now what we are going to do, we are going to firstly create a VLAN, as they are supposed to be in single VLAN or in single LAN. Let us create LAN where where it will be easy to implement or to broadcast our DHCP. So let us create maybe VLAN 10, where all of computers from this network will be in VLAN 10. So when they are in VLAN 10, it means that all they can communicate, all they can share resources, they can share files, as they are in a single network. So let us create a VLAN. Let us use VLAN 10 with the name of LAN 1. LAN 1 as the name of our VLAN or our network. So it means our network is named VLAN 1. So, and we are going to exit. What we are going to do, we are going to set the IP address on this VLAN, where when you apply DHCP, these computers from this VLAN will automatically detect which IP addresses are supposed to be assigned according to the IP addresses of this VLAN. So it means we are going to set IP address here, which will also be used to set the DHCP, to configure the DHCP. So where it will be easy for these devices to get or to analyze the DHCP. So let us assign IP address. We are firstly going to create interface VLAN. So sometimes we use call them it's a VLAN interface, or no, it's a VLAN interface. Let us call it the VLAN interface. So firstly, you have to specify which interface you are going to assign IP address to. For us, we are going to assign IP address to interface which is VLAN. Our VLAN is the one we are going to assign IP address to. So we have to specify VLAN as interface. VLAN interface for having a short time of typing and simple. In simple, we have to type like 3 first letters and place tab, so to get the full command. Interface VLAN, our VLAN is 10, and we are going to change the settings from VLAN 10. So we are going to set IP addresses 10.0.0.1 with a default subnet mask from class A. So we have to save our configurations always. So we are going to now to create IP address pool, which is the HCP, where all computers will take the IP addresses from its LAN 1. Let us call it LAN 1, but you can call it as you want. It's a pool name network. So now we are going to set all interfaces or all switch ports to access this VLAN or these IP addresses. So it means what we are going to do, we are going to allow all switch port interfaces to allow to access this VLAN 10 ports, all these VLAN 10 settings. So it means all services will be broadcasted, will be distributed by VLAN 10. So these computers with the permission of accessing VLAN 10 will be affected with these settings from VLAN 10. So let us create let us give these interfaces access interface. So we are dealing with these interfaces from switch to computers. So for eliminating our time consumption, so let us use a range. We are going to use this range as command, where we are going to type range of these or switch ports numbers. So we have as we have 15 computers, it means we have from first Ethernet 0/1 to first Ethernet 0/15. So as we have 15 computers, so let us type range first Ethernet, you type this first Ethernet 0/1 to first Ethernet 0/15. You have to know how many computers or how many interfaces are connected to, how many switch ports are working on your switch. So let us go ahead, 0/1 up to 15. No need of typing first Ethernet. It's gonna be applied from both. So we have first Ethernet 0/1 to 15, and we are going to allow this the range of these first Ethernet or the range of these interfaces to access the services from VLAN 10. So we are going to set a mode as access mode, switch port mode. So we shall say about switch modes. I mean switch port modes. Also we have a trunk and access, but we use access when we are configuring access from computer to switch, where computer will have an access to switch port when where it can have where it can receive and everything which is being broadcasted by the interface from switch. So, and we use a trunk when we are configuring a switch to access a router or two network devices when are communicating, when are connected together, we use trunk for allowing there's two network devices to communicate according to the kind of data which are being broadcasted between them, which are being shared between these two computers or two devices, between these two network devices. So here we are going to use the access mode. We type switch port mode access. You see now we say that this range of interfaces are going to be in access mode, and the switch port. So now we are going to set what this it is access. It is in access mode. So what this interface will access is there to access VLAN, switch port access VLAN 10. It means everything from VLAN 10. All settings will be implemented, will be applied in VLAN 10. Will affect all these fast Ethernet, or will affect all these interfaces which are assigned to it, because it's supposed to access everything from VLAN 10. I can say we are done with the configuring our DHCP and the network. So you see here we have an orange indicators which are indicating that we changed the settings from the interfaces, so they are still loading. After loading, they come back in a normal indication. So where they indicate green indicates, or in green colors. So we have to refresh before going to check of our DHCP if it is successful. And we are going to now check like 3 computers of them, all 4 of them, so it will show us all computers is successfully receiving DHCP addresses. So our purpose today is to have what we call virtual local area network, where we are going to have the unique communication from block 10 and block 20 and block 30, where block 10 can't send any data, can't share any files, any data from block 20 or block 30. Now before setting a VLAN, you have to know about what we call subnetting or subnetworks, where we are going to create what we call subnets. Firstly, we have a network address which is 10.0.0.0. Let us suppose it have now /12 because it's the one we used for calculating the subnets. So you can use the the subnet, the prefix length, which is can cover your subnets. So now we have this as network address from this LAN 1, and we have the what we call subnets. Let us have this subnet as a network from this network address, but it's a subnetwork of from it. So 10.0.0. Dot 15. Let us use 15. Dot 0, and we are going to use a default subnet mask. So let us have here 10.0. Don't 32.0.0. Yeah, okay, and the default subnet mask. So here we have 10.48.0.0 and the default subnet mask over class A. Okay, so now even you, when you are setting your VLAN or virtual network, we have to create what we call subnetwork subnetworks for creating. For separating, there's LANs for creating virtual networks. So you need calculation of subnetting, or you have to calculate subnetworks and get the addresses, different addresses from this network address we used before. So now we are going to create VLANs according to the subnetworks we have here. So we have network which is 10.15, 10.32, and 10.48. So now let us start. We are going to be back in our switch by creating 3 VLANs. We are going to create what we call virtual networks, as we are done with the VLAN. So now I think you can also do, as you know how to configure a LAN. You know how to set IP addresses. You know to set to configure access, switch port access, or you know how to set these interfaces from computer to access certain VLAN. So there, I think you can create these virtual LANs. So you can, when you analyze, you immediately apply. So exit. Firstly, we are going to create a VLAN interface. VLAN, let me use the abbreviations. VLAN 10. Interface VLAN 10. IP address. We have used this. So let us firstly use VLAN this interface from first Ethernet 0/1 up to 0/5 to access the VLAN, the VLAN 10, which have these addresses. Here is 255, not 25. So let us go back in switch. So interface range, as I said, you can use tab option. Interface range, first Ethernet Ethernet 0/1 up to 5. Switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 10. Save our work. Exit. Interface range. First Ethernet 0/6 up to 10. 6 up to 10. As I said, for me, I know the interfaces. I know how I assign the interfaces. Switch port mode access and the switch port access VLAN 20. No. VLAN. Sorry, let us see. Interface range. Okay. I will have to assign IP address only. Okay. VLAN circle. You see? Interface range. Here is range, not run. Range. Ethernet 0/11 to 15. Switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 20. We have something to note here. As you know, first we created a VLAN, VLAN 2, and we assigned all switch ports to VLAN 2. What we have to do, we have to delete or we have to erase the configuration from these interfaces from end devices to access the VLAN 2. So we have to disable or we have to erase that these configurations we configured before. What we have to do, we have to specify interface. So interface range. First Ethernet 0/1 to 15. We have to set them to not access the VLAN 2. No switch port access VLAN 2. So after configuring VLAN in our network, you're gonna see the output. So first time we had the communication in all end devices, where the computers from block 1 was supposed to communicate with the computers from block 2 or block 20, but now they can't communicate. Even block 10 can't communicate, can't send any message to block 30. So let us check the connectivity. Let us try to send from block 10 to block 20. Let us check the output. So you see now all of them are failing. So even if you can send the second one without the loops, it will be broadcasted to all computers as a loop, but all of them will fail. They will keep moving in a network without reaching to the destination because they are not allowed. It is not allowed to get or to reach to the destination from block 20. So that's why they are all failing. So it can keep moving, it can keep looping in the network by consuming data, by consuming bandwidth, but without reaching to its destination. So now, but when we check here, let us try to send the message from this piece to this from the same block and see the difference. Let us see the difference. That is the first one. We have to refresh and resend. You see, now these computers from the same block can communicate to each other, but they can't communicate to these computers from the different blocks, or from different from block 20 or block 30. So even block 20 can't communicate with the block 30. They can't, because they are not supposed, as we configured a virtual network. It means that virtually they are in the different networks. Even if we have a single LAN, but we created virtual networks where we separated all computers in different networks accordingly. So when we check from this piece to this, so they can communicate because they are in single network or single virtual network. So you see the output, the message is successfully reached to the destination, or the communication is successful. So even block 3, you can check from this piece maybe to this. They are also successful because all of them are in the same virtual LAN. So let us see. Now you can see the output is now successful. So, but you can't send from here. So let us refresh first. From there to here, you can't. Let's use this. You see, it's maybe a triple broadcasting the message because there is no destination set. It can't reach to the destination. So that's how we create a virtual local area network. So by now, I hope you can now create LAN, and you can separate the LAN according to departments. For example, when you are going to build a LAN from school, you can separate it. When even if it is a single LAN with a school over school, you can separate where students will have their own virtual network where they will be able to communicate to each other, but they can't be able to communicate to the staff block. So it's very simple and easy to get or to be a network admin. It's very simple and easy. So I thank you for this time. Let's meet again next time. By now we learned about local area network and virtual local area network. So as a part of skills of getting a network administrator. So thank you very much.